Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode number 204 on the Good Morning Guys podcast. And this morning, we are catching up on what's new news for the Quadfecta, and hopefully you as well. Thank you, joiners, for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we discuss the game of life. I'm your host tonight, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Next to me, the judge, the jury, and the executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Matrick Novacell.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. To his left, the man who can make you laugh in 3 words or less, Ronnie Joseph Johantis.
Hi.
And our last member of our Quadfecta in this garbage truck on fire. He's got music in his heart, a variety of battle royales on his brain, and La Carreta in his old stomacho. Marc Old Man Jenkins Boucher.
Old Man Jenkins.
Yeah, I felt like giving you guys middle names, so I'm glad you went with it.
Wait,
I was
what
really
was
surprised.
my middle name? Matrick?
Do we
Yep.
know what our middle names are? Have we ever done that on
Patrick Matrick.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever introduced you with your legitimate middle
Do you
names.
know my legitimate middle name?
I know it somewhere in the file cabinet in my head, but I don't think I
You do
remember
not.
in this moment.
You do not is what that means.
No, I know. I just don't remember in this moment. That doesn't mean I didn't listen or know. So, joiner, if you are new with us, welcome. Not sure if our review or a friend or just sheer dumb luck brought you our way, but know that you are in for a trip this week. We are sharing what's new now. We're revisiting our top 100 GOAT video games. Real soon, we're dropping the first Twix GP show episode and unveiling a new mini-sode called Memory Unlocked. All this week. Stay tuned. Okay? I don't know if that works with podcasting, but it worked in the 80s and 90s with television, so it should work today.
Worked for
All
Casey Kasem.
That's right. Oh yeah, they used it with radio too. Stay tuned. Speaking of dedication, Ronnie, you're here. We're so glad to have you. We missed you last week. We're going to let you go first, as is tradition. Since you missed last week, you get to go first with your, sharing what's new with you.
Did you guys see that bus go by? Did you see Ronnie underneath it?
Lucas just kicked my knee out and ran me over.
I just went with it. They don't call me the transition ninja for nothing.
All right. Well, what did I do this past 2 weeks?
Yeah. You ate real food.
I did not break my jaw. That's
good.
what I didn't do.
Sweet.
As far as I know. I am back to eating pretty much normal foods. I have eaten sandwiches now, but I have to eat them this sounds hilarious and it feels ridiculous doing it. I can't open my mouth all that way yet. I just don't have that range. So I have to put the sandwich at the entrance and I just wiggle the sandwich in between my jaw.
You have to
then I can take a bite of it.
The sandwich in.
Yeah. So we went to we got Burger King one night and I was like, oh man, I haven't had a Whopper in months,
Those are so good.
I know. And a lot of times I'll get the double Whopper just because I want to, be a fat piece of crap. And I had to get the single because I knew the double I wouldn't be able to handle it. So, but I wasn't able to really handle the single either. It was a nightmare. There's just sauce all over. I basically am just jamming the sandwich into my face. So by the time I get done, I look like George eating that sundae on Sunday.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you did. Oh man.
Still worth it though.
The view from inside of your mouth must be. You remember the Play-Doh toys where you would shove the thing on the Play-Doh and it would squirt out
it's just coming through the small
going through of your mouth.
Goes with Play-Doh.
Yeah, that is totally true.
Your what is it? Your Glottal Stop? Is that what it's called? The little hangy ball in the back?
I have no idea what the
uvula. What's the Glottal Stop?
These all sound like private part names.
Well, they are private parts. They're your parts that you have. Anyways, whatever. The hangy ball in the back of your throat's it's coming. Get ready. They're hold. I'm going to look up what a Glottal Stop is because that's also something in your mouth.
Are you
weird-
sure? Are you sure that's not the part where the flap that is that over your trachea, so food doesn't go down your windpipe?
called
That's
a
still in
glottal
your.
stop?
That's still part of your mouth.
I
I'm
have
gonna say
never
it
heard
is.
the term glottal stop before.
I think that's the glottal stop that you're talking about.
Pretty
A
sure
glottal
it's a real
stop
thing.
is a consonant formed by the audible release of the airstream after complete closure of the glottis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your mouth.
Yep.
No, it's your throat.
Science.
That's a part of your mouth. It's in the
Dr.
mouth.
Swisher
The mouth
is in the
region. That's Dr. Ham to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know nothing about anatomy.
We do not know anything. I've made it
You've
this
come
far.
to
I
the
just
wrong
found
place.
out.
Biology.
I honestly I don't know. I choose to retain certain things, and I don't really. Well, that's wrong. I don't choose to retain certain things. It just happens naturally. The things that interest me. Apparently, the bone that I broke on my jaw is not even one of those because I can't even tell you which bone I broke. that's like a pretty big one.
It's the glottal stop bone.
Yeah,
It's part of your mouth.
it's the stopper of the glottal stop.
Yep.
So the last couple weeks, I've been fairly busy with wedding stuff, just kind of getting the last couple of things done here and there. I mean, it is a stressful thing, I'm excited for the wedding. It's October 8th, so it is really right around the corner. There's still a few little details to get ironed out, and yeah, it's just by the time the wedding is here, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be so happy that we're finally getting married and that the wedding is over. You know what I mean? That'll be fantastic once that's finally through. But we're on the home stretch now, so we're doing good. Outside of that, I had dinner with my grandma and my aunt last week. That's actually the night we recorded. I was out to dinner with them. I always try to go out to dinner with my grandma about once every month or so. I've tried to do that the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, just because outside of that there's really not many scenarios where I would she lives I don't know, people from Cincinnati are only going to know what I'm talking about, but she lives over in Westchester and I live in Batavia. So they're not, too close, 30, 35 minutes away. But different, kind of a different side of town. But we had a great dinner. We went to the Carrabba's.
Oh,
So
yeah, Carrabba's.
It's been a while since I've been to Carrabba's. The place is fantastic. I don't remember what I got, but I remember the bourbon that I had was really good, whatever kind that was. Outside of dinner, I started playing a game, actually,
Yeah.
and that game is Ark.
Welcome back.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, I just got the itch, and this past week I've been playing it. I think it's gonna go away pretty fast, actually. There's a couple of new maps on there that are fan created maps, and they really are awesome. It's Fjordor. I think it's FJORD. Fjordor, maybe.
Okay.
Is the name of the map. It's a fan created map.
Wait,
It has.
are you talking about Ark or a part of Cincinnati that we're not familiar with?
I am talking about Ark.
Okay,
Yes,
fair enough. I just
Fjordor,
want to make sure.
Ohio, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it could
sounds-
exist. There's a little neighborhood in Cincinnati.
Yeah, right next to Asgard.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, so it's actually cool. It's a fan created map, but this is different than other fan created maps. Normally, when in the past, when Ark has had fan created maps, they don't actually have boss battles and stuff like the standard maps do. And it's just a map. It's just a map. You could go and kind of explore and do things, but ultimately, I've always felt there's just no goal to the fan created ones. And this one has bosses
Cool.
throughout. So it's really cool. They actually there's a cave at some point in this, the map is really big, and then you find this cave, and in this cave is 3 portals, and these portals take you to 3 other maps. They're smaller, but one of them is Asgard. One of them is the Jordanheim or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. Jotunheim.
Yeah, Jotunheim, and I can't remember what the third one was, but it is right along line with both of them. But I've been playing that a little bit. I don't think it's going to last too long. Still really just waiting for Arc 2, honestly.
Yeah. Of course.
So we'll hope that's not as much of a piece of crap as the first game is.
Vin Diesel's taking care of it for you, buddy. He'll have it out as soon as he can wrap
You
things
never
up.
know. But also, while I'm talking about Arc, I'd like to get a verbal agreement from Pat that he's going to try it out again.
Well,
That's what I would like.
I still have it installed. I never deleted it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think here's the thing. I don't know that you should come back ever to this arc because the chances of the game being a piece of crap are very high.
Why don't we
So-
agree to play
that's
Arc
what's
2
great
together?
about it.
But if we do arc 2,
I'm
we
down.
could set up a server that we all probably could play on anytime we wanted to. And I think that
Yeah.
would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, if I can be Vin Diesel, let's go for it.
I don't know, honestly. I feels like everybody's Vin Diesel when you create a character in that game. Everybody's jacked. Like, it's
I
just a
think we
jacked
should be
caveman.
the crew of Fast and Furious. I call dibs on Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Sounds like a horrible plan.
Ooh.
I don't really.
I'm
I
John
think I
Cena.
only watched the first couple.
Oh, you need to get with it, man.
I'll be Ludacris.
That works.
I don't know what his real character is. But
Mark, who are you going to be?
Oh, I could go old school and go with Brian.
Might as
Paul
well.
Walker.
Yeah.
I feel like that's allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good choice.
Absolutely. Outside of the games this past 2 weeks, I did have I started listening to a new podcast actually, and I didn't know this was a podcast, but did you know that Tom Segura and Bert Crusher have their own podcast?
I did not know that.
It's hysterical.
I did not know that.
It is very funny. It's called Two Bears, One Cave. And it's really just those two guys. They sit for like 2 hours and just chat. And it's just hilarious stuff. It's normally just like Bert is like the crazy guy, and Tom is like just, the regular down to earth, reasonable person.
He's a straight
As it
man.
turns out in real
Okay.
life, they are very, very close friends. And I didn't know that either. So they're like polar opposites. Like, even if you've seen their comedy, like you understand, like they're polar opposite people. So the whole dynamic between the two of them is just really hilarious.
For people like me who have no idea who they are, who are they?
They are both comedians. Tom Segura he's a fairly popular comedian, I would say. He's had a few Netflix specials and
Okay.
and things. It's
Cool.
not family comedy. I don't think either one of them are like a family. Like you couldn't sit down and watch with your family with either one of them. I don't think they're like crazy, like crazy bad or anything like that. But definitely not like it's like an 18+ audience. Bert Crusher is also the other guy. He is also a stand-up comedian. He's the guy that takes his shirt off. I don't know if that helps at all. He's a fat guy and he's shirtless the whole show, which is fun.
Yeah. First you had my interest.
Yeah. He doesn't do that on the podcast. He wears a shirt.
Now you have something else. I don't remember what's the other thing he
My
says?
attention.
You're my attention. Thank you. Now you have my attention.
So I started listening to them, and it's actually like a really good show. Like they just talk about their lives and stuff. Like honestly, they kind of do a similar thing to what we do. They just talk about their lives, their families, and the funny stuff that's happening. But I've been listening to that kind of like in the background at work and stuff like that. It's kind of been a nice one to pass the time.
There you go.
And lastly, yesterday I went to a baptism
Really?
for my stepbrother Eric's little daughter Charlotte.
Oh,
Nice.
yay.
Yeah, so we went to the baptism for her. It was really good, actually. She was fantastic most of the time, except for the part where she fell asleep. Up until
How dare she do such a thing?
basically up until she was dunked. She was sleeping, so we knew it was going to be bad as soon as she got dunked.
Go wake
but,
up now.
Yeah, there was actually a point in the show where
In the show?
in the show it was kind of honestly it really was a show. I mean,
It was an
a whole
opening
thing.
number and everything.
Yeah, it was a whole thing because I've done so they go to a Greek Orthodox church, so all
Okay.
the things that are done are different than what I would be used to being raised Catholic. I always find it interesting, like the other ceremonies and things like that. So it was really neat, beautiful church. It's the same church they actually got married in. But yeah, there was a point in it where she was sleeping and Eric and Kayla were trying to hey, wake her up, and then the priest just kind of turns around and he's like, oh, I'll wake her up.
I got experience with this. I got this covered.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure. Every one of them is different. So I was I asked Eric before, just going in, I was like, so is she gonna get fully dunked, or because I know some they do just a water splash, or
Yeah,
whatever.
do the sprinkles. Yeah.
But I was like, is she getting dunked all the way? Is this gonna be one of those just dunkings. And no, they did not put her head underwater. They actually just splashed a little bit on the top of her head. So
Yeah.
That's a good call.
yeah,
Yeah.
she would have been really upset if she just got submerged, I think. But it all went really good. They had really great food afterwards. I don't know if you guys have ever this is kind of a thing that I am now like. So Eric's wife, Kayla, she is Greek. Her family is Greek. They follow Greek tradition through pretty much everything.
Mhm.
One of the things that they do is every life event, a baptism, or every step along the way, like they just go all out. You know what I mean? Like for food, for all of these things, like they have such like nice events to go to. So anytime you end up at one of these, they really go all out. They have little gifts for everybody, little baggies and just all kinds of stuff. So it was really fantastic.
Nice.
But yeah, it was definitely quite an experience. So it was fun. I actually didn't anticipate on having like a lot of fun the whole time, but it was pretty good. Like, they kind of made it like a fun time, and everything went really well for her. So
You can be a supportive
really happy for
family
them.
member and have a good time.
yeah, absolutely. I was really happy for them. Like I said, Charlotte was really good, and even after she went in the water, she stopped crying, pretty shortly thereafter. So, not too bad at all. But yeah, that's my 2 weeks.
There you go.
Nice.
Very good. Very
Who
good.
wants to go next?
Lucas, who should go next?
Let's do Marcus.
You would do that.
Let's make him have a verbal altercation to see who goes next.
Loud noises. Yeah. So this past week, it's been really frustrating because if you remember, we got my wife a new car about a month or so ago. Well, yeah, 2 months ago now, and so the other day it just randomly the driver door decided to not open. Like you cannot open it from the inside or the outside. Yeah.
All right. That sounds like a problem.
Yeah,
A rough
it's
problem to
just-
have. You guys got a Dukes of Hazzard it?
Well, basically, we've had to climb in through the passenger side, or just use my car, which is really annoying because it's a brand new car to us, and we're having to use the other car.
Yeah.
That's a weird issue to have with a car too.
And so
Did you spray some like WD-40 in it? Like just get that needle in there and.
may not be a bad idea.
Seems
but
like it's locked, probably.
I
That
kinda
fixes
don't
everything.
I kind of don't want to break it more.
I mean, WD-40 is not going to break nothing. It's just going to make it really greasy. So you might be like slipping your hand off of it.
You gotta slip right in there when you're done.
Slap yourself in the face with the handle. Just whoops.
Go through the driver's
Yeah.
seat and out the passenger side. Yeah.
At least the door opens though.
Yeah.
You just got to get a little. You just got to grease it up a little bit.
I think you should just paint a number on the side of it and put her name like right underneath the driver door, so that when she
timer.
climbs in public, it looks like a race car.
Yeah, and just get a stopwatch out or put a little like one of them red green lights
There you
to
go.
kind of counter off and be like, go.
Yep. Put that on a Nissan Juke. Nice.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So yeah, and obviously it's still under a warranty, so we kind of have to take it where they tell us to go in order for them to, actually pay for it. And so there's only one place in town. Well, at first we brought it to just a regular service repair center, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't open this. You're gonna need to take this to a body shop." And there is only one body shop in town that this warranty company is willing to pay for it, and they're backed up until August 9th.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So, and then the next
Busy
closest, what's that?
Busy place.
Yeah. And then the next closest place to here is like an hour away from here. So
Sounds like a racket.
yeah.
Like the reason they're busy is they've done this to everybody.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you can only go to this one place. That's how it works.
It's crap is what it is. It's
Yeah,
crap.
that's pretty bad.
So, really haven't been driving the new car all that much. Been using my car until we can get it fixed. But But so that's been a little on the frustrating side. And also we are in week 3 of Numb Lip.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
The saga continues.
Yep. And so I have tried to make contact with the endodontist to ask them, what do I do here to try to do something about this? And they have taken their good sweet time to get back to me. And they called me at like 4:30 on Friday. So they're like, "Oh yeah, we can try to get you back in." And then of course I forgot to call today. So because I called them on Thursday, and they're like, "Yeah, let me talk to the doctor, and then we'll call you back." And then like 2 days later, a day and a half, 2 days later, they called me back towards the end of the day, like, "Oh yeah, you should call us back. We can try to set something up for you." I'm like, "Great." But yeah, still got a numb lower lip. Fantastic. But that's probably the worst, I'd say, that's happened. On the good side of things, my wife and I decided to watch a movie that I had seen before. But she was in the mood to watch some sort of a Batman movie, and like a longer Batman movie.
Oh, that's speaking your language.
Yep.
You're
And I
like,
was
you're like,
well,
ears perked up.
twist my arm, why don't you? So we actually watched a movie. It's an animated movie called Batman Gotham by Gaslight. And it's basically Batman in Victorian era Gotham.
Okay. Like Downton Abbey with Batman?
Basically. Only less hoity-toityness.
Oh, well, that's no fun. What's the deal with that? Why do we need the hoity-toityness? That's what makes it fun.
I guess you get a little bit of hoity-toityness, but
Okay.
not much. But it's,
Have we ever said hoity-toity this much on an episode?
just breaking
I don't think
records
so.
here.
We are. Left and right.
But yeah, no, it's Victorian era Batman. What if he was in that like old type of city, like, with Jack
Victoria?
the Ripper. Jack the
Oh, yeah.
Ripper is actually the main villain of the movie.
Did he have like a George Washington wig on?
No,
Batman?
that's 1700s.
Oh man.
Yeah, wrong century.
Yeah, Victorian
Dang
era
it.
is like 1800s.
They've moved on from the wigs at that point.
Yeah,
That's crap.
but no, but it's like it's got that old type of feel where everybody's riding around in horse and carriage and all that kind of stuff. But it's actually a great movie. They did a great job with it. And there's a whole bunch of nods to different Batman characters in the movie. Like I said, Jack the Ripper is the main bad guy, and Batman's trying to solve the mystery of it and stop the murders. But yeah, I highly recommend, especially if you have HBO Max. It is on there for free for you to watch. So if you have that,
Cool.
you should watch it.
What would you rate it?
I would say it is 9 steam-powered bat cycles out of 10.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
It's
All right.
pretty good. Nine's a good number. Healthy.
Yeah,
Victorian-like.
It's a great one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been pretty much on the real life side of things. I actually pretty good step here. I think I mentioned to you guys a while back that we've been on the search for a new senior pastor at our church. It's been just over a year now that we've been looking, and we brought somebody on as an interim pastor. He was originally scheduled to stay on for the summer. Now he's staying on till May of next year.
Oh, wow.
And they have started the recommendation process for him to become the full-time pastor.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the way that our thing is set up, we had a pastoral search committee set up to actually do the legwork of looking for potential candidates.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go through a formal process, formal interview with the candidate. and then they vote, whether they recommend to go up to the next level, and it was a unanimous recommendation from the Pastoral Search Committee. So that's step one. Now it goes up to our elder board, where they have to do the same thing. They do an interview process, and then they have to vote on recommendation, and from there, that's when the church votes on it. And then once we vote on it, then that is it. So we are at step 1 of 3. He's passed. But just the fact that it was unanimous, I feel like, unless barring any sort of like major hurdles, I feel like this is a step in a good direction. I love the guy. He's fantastic. Yeah, I think we're heading on that way of finally getting a new senior pastor.
Nice.
Okay.
So on the gaming side of things, it was kind of bare this weekend. Unfortunately, I did not get to stream Wind Waker. So that's probably going to be, I may be able to figure out how to do a stream sometime during the week, but otherwise more than likely, it'll be on the weekend. But, but on the gaming side of things, and I'm not going to dive too much into this because this is kind of our, topic for our inaugural episode of Twix Game Pass.
So
I
you should
jumped
keep
into,
it to a minimum.
Yep. Jumped into As Dusk Falls this weekend. And man, is that stressful. It's great, but like there are just so many decisions that I have to make. And it just feels like more so than a Telltale game, there are more decisions that affect the outcome of the game. There's a lot of different decisions. Now, you guys played Detroit. I never played Detroit. I'm sure I think it's on that kind of level of that many decisions.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But I have completed book 1 so far, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the story. The art style is great. It's interesting. But yeah, it's just really stressful for me. Cause I'm just afraid I'm going to make the wrong choice. But I mean, that's every choose your own adventure type game. But like more so with this one, I feel like every little decision I make is going to affect something negatively. And there were a couple of decisions that I made that I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that. But it's all good.
You sound like Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Oh, you
shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have said that.
But yeah, that was pretty much the limit to my gaming this past week. Oh no, I take that back.
Ah, you jokester.
I just
Messing with
remembered.
us.
I jumped into Multiversus, which is the if you're not familiar with Multiversus, it's a fighting game in the style of like Super Smash Brothers and that type of stuff, where you have a bunch of different characters from the WB universe. All their intellectual properties are basically characters that you can fight against. Like there's characters from Looney Tunes, there's characters from DC Comics like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all those types of guys. There's some new characters that they've introduced for the game, and I just started kind of messing around with it a little bit, and very much getting that Smash Brothers vibe. Although I played by myself because unfortunately you guys had played Thursday night and I didn't end up being able to join you. So it's in beta right now. So the only way that you can play is either by playing against a bot or actually having friends online at this point. I hope that they have some sort of like a campaign in some sort of way, maybe. I don't know. Kind of like Smash Brothers does.
I mean, you can play other people.
Can you?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Patrick and I played some randos.
You played some randos? Yeah. Okay.
Kicked their butts.
We played some pros and we played some schmoes.
We played some people that were like level 10, 12.
When we were
They
playing
were
the
like-
pros, we're like, well, we got smashed. We had no chance. We're already dead.
Hey, that only happened once.
It was
reality.
a
enough.
shellacking.
It was a shellacking. But there were some other people that they like had really high numbers. They had a bunch of perks, and Patrick and I were like, well, let's see what happens, and we owned them. We
Yeah,
were
here
like,
comes Garnett to your face.
And
Whoever
Wonder Woman
Garnett is.
with the shield. Yeah, who
Yeah.
knows who Garnett is? I still
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't looked it up.
Yeah.
She is a character from the show Steven Universe, I believe.
Still don't know what that
Yep,
is.
still don't know what that means.
It's a Cartoon Network show.
Yeah, that's why.
I know that channel. Yes, Cartoon Network. I've heard of
I
it.
understood that reference.
Yes.
But actually, like, as much, of course, I had to play as Batman at some point, and
I did not see that coming.
and I love the fact that it is, of course, voiced by Kevin Conroy, and they have an alternate costume where you can put on the Batman the Animated Series costume. So
Nice.
I definitely had to do that. But honestly, I think if I'm gonna pick one to be a main, I think I would be a Shaggy main.
Okay.
I just like his abilities.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. He's
who
pretty.
doesn't
He's
like
got a pretty
throwing
solid move.
sandwich?
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with throwing a sandwich, even though that's a waste. But
Well, I mean, you can get it back.
it's a cartoon sandwich, so we'll allow it.
That's just what I would imagine Ronnie would do after like not trying to put it through his mouth. He's like, yeah, the heck with this.
Throwing this sandwich at you. Take it.
Oh, it does 17 damage. Check that out.
Oh!
Oh, but
Have to be a well put together sandwich.
indeed. But yeah, that's basically been my week.
All right. Patrick Matrick, Novacell.
That's
What's up
not
with
my
you?
middle name, but
It is today, friend.
not my
all
name.
right.
That's not my name.
right.
Okay, yeah. This past weekend, went camping again. We went
Your
to
favorite.
I know, it was awesome. We went to a new place we've never been to before, and I gotta tell you, this camping trip was the best camping trip I've ever been on.
Ooh,
Wow.
Yes. So we get there and we see like these huge open areas. Like when you go camping, they're like kind of on top of each other. And we go to this place and there's this huge open field, like, I don't know, maybe 40 yards of just openness. And I'm like, is that ours? And so she looks it up, and one of the spots is a premium spot. And I was like, and it's on like the little marker, it said it's a premium spot. It's like extra to do. And so we looked it up. I was like, did you rent this for extra? And she's like, I don't remember. And it was only $2 more than the other sites.
Oh,
for the
snap,
premium
look
site.
out.
So it's like, I don't even, that's not,
Careful.
I would consider that premium, but the premium spot is, I guess, the spot to have because of how much openness do you have. So we had a whole bunch of open space, which was nice because we brought Ellie along and she had a ton of room to play. So that was great. And then also right behind our campsite was the lake, and the sun sets right across the lake. And so we could see the sunset from right where we were. Beautiful sunset. It was nice on the at night, and I can understand why we had this big, huge open space, was because a lot of people at night were walking through our campsite to go see the sunset, which was fine because we were doing the same thing. It's not like they're infringing on us all day,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So it was the great sunset, great open space. The weather was phenomenal. It got like to 82, 83 high over the weekend, and at night it was low 60s. So it was perfect weather.
Nice.
And we there during the day on Saturday, there was a pioneer village in the center of the camp. So people from like dressing up like they're in the 1800s, and there was like axe throwing, there was like rope making, quill writing with like quill and ink and things like that. So it
Any
was
George
really
Washington wigs?
no, they didn't have wigs, but they had all the whole like garb like you would wear. So yeah, it was a great like 4 hours. What's going on here? Oh, my phone's like going off like crazy. But that was like a great 4 hours for the kids to play, and because there was really nothing else to do at this campsite other than for this. So I'm so glad that it was there. Kids had a blast. They saw people just making like little handheld like wooden knives and like wooden guns and things like that. So it was really cool for the kids. But yeah, so yeah, it was a fun weekend, really fun weekend.
Nice.
If I had to rate it, it was 9 out of 10 camping trip, like for real.
Nice.
It was really nice. If
There
every
you go.
weekend could be like this, I mean, it didn't rain, beautiful weather, no allergies. It was really good, really good
Sweet.
weekend.
Stellar.
Yeah. Now they're not all going to be like that, but this weekend was great. On the movie front, watched 0 movies this past week, which is crazy for me because I usually watch
Slacker.
at least one. But what I did watch was the WWE Summerslam, which is like the second biggest WWE event next to WrestleMania for the year. And my goodness, it did not disappoint. One of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen. It was the first pay-per-view since Vince McMahon had left WWE. So we're all wondering what's going to happen. And my goodness, it did not disappoint. From beginning to end was fantastic. The ending was even better than I could have ever imagined. Brock Lesnar comes to the ring in a big, huge tractor, like huge, enormous tractor. And he leaves it by the ring. And I'm like, well, that's going to be used at some point during the match. And so him and Roman Reigns are battling back and forth, throwing each other through tables and things like that. And so Roman Reigns is in the ring down, and Brock Lesnar goes to the tractor, and it has a huge front loader. So he takes the front loader and he pushes the ring like a few feet. The whole entire ring goes a few feet. Then he puts the front loader down a little bit low so it goes underneath the ring. And then he continues to bring the front loader up and brings the entire front of the ring, or one of the quarters of the ring, up another like 6 feet. And Roman Reigns just tumbles out of the ring. It was insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was great pay-per-view. Loved it. Really looking forward to the rest of what the new management and creative directors for WWE are going to do now that Vince McMahon's going to be gone, or now that he is gone. People are saying that expect this to be like tonight's Raw and this week's SmackDown to be more akin to the next couple episodes or shows right after WrestleMania. So looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. It's fun.
It was Ric Flair's
Nice.
last match, right?
Ric Flair's last match, but it was not for WWE. He got fired from WWE like a year ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you like? He's like in his 70s or something like that, and Vince McMahon just fires him. It's like, man, why don't? He's a legend.
Ric Flair
And-
is a modern marvel also, because if you hear about the life that he led when he was initially wrestling, like there's no reason he should be alive still.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, a lot of wrestlers that should not be alive still,
Yeah.
in and outside of the ring for sure.
Gotcha.
So that
I
was
thought-
fun.
I thought that happened at SummerSlam, so my bad.
No, I can't remember what event it was, but I don't know if it was like an indie event or AEW event. I'm not really sure. I couldn't figure out where it was from, but it sounded like it was an independent place,
Gotcha.
or it was just his last match,
Okay.
which I wish could have been in the WWE. That would have been awesome to have a send off like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't happen.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it on the show. Well, since I was out last week, I don't think I did. But one of the things I forgot to mention is that I did watch RRR.
Oh boy.
Nice.
It was fantastic, honestly.
I'm doing my update. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, you reminded me with the movies, and you recommended it specifically to
Okay,
me. So,
and
it was a good recommendation, honestly. I think it was at the point where he picked up the motorcycle and started using it as a weapon. And I was like,
I mean, come on.
all right.
Let's go.
That's what I'm
Let's
talking
go.
about. I thought he was just going to sling it. No, turns out he used it like a stick. Like,
Yeah.
it was a whole motorcycle.
Yeah, you didn't know back then they were made of sticks. Like
I mean,
that's
he
how
was
they made
built like a
motorcycles.
brick house. Like, it seems like he
He
probably could have
was.
picked that motorcycle up anyways. But
I'm surprised he didn't
Boy.
rip a tree out of the ground and just
what
like
a wild and crazy movie, though. Elizabeth
Yeah.
and I watched it. We both really liked it.
it was funny. Like
Yeah.
I heard that the motorcycles back then were a little bit lighter to where people could pick them up. but the throwing like a stick was not realistic.
Yeah, he just started using it as a weapon, like it didn't weigh anything.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna do a Winter Soldier. You know, he grabs that motorcycle and just gets on it the other way. Like I thought he was gonna do something like that, not just continue to fight with the motorcycle.
Gotta
But,
use what you got.
That movie was.
Yeah.
It was fun though. It was.
Yeah.
Since we're doing things that we forgot and we're sabotaging Patrick's update. So real
It's all
quick,
good. Always struck on fire.
exciting news. Kristen and I are going to Disney World next year.
Woo!
Nice.
We're going in September of next year, September 10th through the 16th.
Heck
It's
yeah.
going to be awesome. So, had to say that. All right.
Nice.
Pat, continue.
Yeah, so the last thing I want to talk about is I played Multiversus, and I didn't think I would like this game because I'm not a Super Smash Brothers kind of guy. And Lucas and I played it last Thursday, and I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. I played Superman as the first character for me, and I was like, okay, let's check out other characters. And I played about all the characters that were available because like a lot of them are locked because you have to grind to unlock them.
Yeah.
With the gold that you earn from each match you play or whatever. So I moved on to I've landed on Garnett, whoever the heck Garnett is, and she's from Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon at night, whatever it is. So she's so
Marc
she
just told you 15 minutes ago.
yes, but I like to think that I don't know.
Fair
So
enough.
Wait a minute.
she had a
I
good
tell
combo.
Pat something, and he doesn't remember what it is.
That
No
never
way.
happens.
I haven't had any Fireball tonight, so
Garnett's
who knows what's going
also
on.
a character on Exploding Kittens. She's on the Rotary Girder card.
Well, no wonder I don't remember.
Yep.
Goodness.
But yeah, she was a blast. And then with the duo of Wonder Woman, who Lucas was, I mean, we were wrecking shop. I think we won, I don't know, 6 matches in a row. It was really fun. 1, because we were winning, and 2, because we were just having a blast, not knowing what the heck we were doing.
And after
'Cause-
3 matches, we couldn't feel our hands because we were mashing the buttons so hard.
So yeah, I'm like, wow,
I felt like a
need to
child again.
I need to condition my fingers for this game because of how much button mashing I am doing. You know, when you're hitting square and X and circle and R1 and L1 and you're doing all of these things and for like 3 minutes straight. And because sometimes when you're playing a game and then the QTE comes up and you got a button mash, you're just like hitting it for like 5 seconds and all of a sudden it's over. You're doing that, but for 3 minutes. I'm like,
That is correct.
I get tired, but man, I just shook it off, and I went into the next match, and I didn't want to stop. And so when I got back from camping, I turned it on, and there was like they have like the daily challenges that you can do for the battle pass or to get gold or whatever. And I jumped in, did the daily challenges, and then today when I got home from work, jumped in, did the daily challenges. I'm like, oh no, I am hooked.
Here it goes.
This game is
So
taking
it
over.
begins.
And I, like Justin, he texted me. He's like, you want to play some Apex after you record the podcast? I'm like, man, do I play that or Multiversus? It's like, that's when I know it's hooking me, when I want to put down Apex, because Apex is my jam. So I'm having a ton of fun with that. And I didn't know, is it still in beta?
Yeah.
I thought it was out of beta.
Yeah, it's still in beta.
Well, it's in
What is
beta, but it still gives you trophies and stuff. So it's like, I think whatever happens after this, it's going to just carry over into
Yeah, because all
main
your stuff
game.
carries over to the main game. So I'm like, oh well, if it's beta, then it's beta, but it feels like it's the full release already. It's a free to play game, and I'm playing it in beta, and all of it carries over to when the game really releases. I mean, to me, it feels like it's full game already.
It feels like they're calling it's in beta so that people don't get angry that it's kind of bare bones. They're like, why don't
I didn't
you
think
have
it was bare bones
like a
at all.
campaign or I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't have couch co-op, which is annoying.
Wait, it doesn't?
It doesn't. I tried to play with my kids and it wouldn't let me. Tasha had to do the tutorial, and then we're like, okay, let's play together, and Nothing.
Okay, maybe they'll add
every
that
person
when the
in-
game fully releases.
Maybe. I mean, I
quotations.
think it's possible we could have played together if she had, which she should have it because I have it, PlayStation Plus. Like, you know how you can only play online
Yeah.
if you both have PlayStation Plus, but it wouldn't let her connect. It was weird.
I
did
mean,
not
you have an
appreciate
Xbox
that.
and a PlayStation. You can play that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Good call.
One
I'll have
on
to
your
work on
phone
that.
or Vita, and then
Yeah.
one on the TV. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. I'm sure you
Mm-hmm.
can figure it out.
Yeah.
So it has local multiplayer.
I remember my first game.
That's fair. That's fair. It wouldn't let me do it. I tried. Honest to goodness. I got on there and tried to do couch co-op and I couldn't figure it out.
Huh.
I may
That's
not
weird.
be a smart man.
I mean, it's a free to play game, so I wouldn't think you would need PlayStation Plus, regardless of whatever account you're on, right?
I think on
If it's
PlayStation you
local-
have to have Plus to play. No, I didn't think you'd have to for local, but you can't play any online matches. You'd have to just play against bots and stuff.
Is it? I think in the modes, there's 1-on-1, there's 2-on-2, and then there's free for all. Is there a section to team up for local co-op? I'm sure there's a setting. There's got to be a setting.
From what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's just under the custom matches. You do a local multiplayer, so it's probably that you can't.
I didn't go to the to the
Okay.
custom
Matches. There you go.
matches. I didn't see that option. I just went to the same place that Patrick and I went and hoped for the best.
Yeah. But I played that, and I also played another chapter of As Dusk Falls. I just finished chapter 2, and then once I finish chapter 3, that's the end of book 1. So as I understand it, so I'm moving the needle on that. Outside of that, that's about it.
Sweet.
Cool. Lucas, what about you, man?
All right, so this past week, I didn't want Ronnie to feel left out with his broken jaw. Didn't want Marc to feel left out with his numb lip. So I hurt myself and lived to tell the tale.
Myself
Today.
Sing it. So last week was the end of winter break for the kids and Mindy. And so we thought we'd go out with a bang. And I took my kids to a jump house called Pop House. And it's a place where you can go to a room full of trampolines, jump on trampolines. They got areas where you can do like the gladiator stuff where you hit each other with big Q-tips, man-sized Q-tips.
A place for older men to get hurt.
Exactly. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a cool dad and I'm going to I'm going to do this with my kids. I'm not just going to watch, not just take pictures. So we
You
get
were
there.
excited though, weren't you?
I was kind of excited. I was like,
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
would have been excited too.
I haven't jumped on a trampoline in forever. Like, there's going to be all these little courses we'll get to do. There was a ninja course, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. So we get there. We get our, we get our tickets. We had to pay for specialty socks that have, sticky adhesive, whatever, on the bottom of your feet so you don't slip around on the trampolines and different areas. And we get in there and we start jumping. And it's cool. It's like we're jumping, you're hopping around and being silly. And for a good 10 minutes, it was fun. It was a good time. And then I saw a little parkour area and people were jumping up and they were like, kind of jumping on this big wall and then pulling themselves up. And that was it. And I'm like, well, that's simple. I can do that. That'll be like a warm up for the ninja
Famous
course.
last words.
Yeah. And so I go up and there's no line at this point. There was a line earlier and I thought, I'll just wait till there's less people. Nobody there. So I just do a little like quick jump and just like propel myself forward to the wall. And I'm like, I'm going to be like Spider-Man. Just grab this thing like, and this wall has, I tell you, I kid you not, zero padding. It is pure wood.
Ooh.
Like wood with just a layer of tarp to make it colorful. And I hit that thing like, I don't know, like it just felt like I just landed into a brick wall.
What part of your
And
body did you hit it with? Just your whole
my
body? You
whole
just
body.
smashed
My
the
whole
wall?
body just smashed against it. I got the upper part to where I was going to pull myself up. And so my upper body was fine. I landed in the perfect spot. But I was going at such a speed forward that my feet hit perpendicular to the wall and my two big toes they did not like what I did, and
Ouch.
they just were like crunch,
Oh, no.
and they just like. I was like, worst case scenario, I broke a toe for sure. My right toe, I was like, it's very possible I broke it. The other one didn't feel as bad, but I'm like, least case scenario, let's see, best case scenario, I stoved it maybe. I don't know. It did not feel good. Oh yeah, and I felt it, and I was like, ooh, I need to sit down. So I sat down, kind of tried to stretch it out. It did not feel good. It was very, very tender, and after about 5-10 minutes, it started to swell up, and I was like, maybe I should go to the nurse. So I go to the nurse's station, and I have them check it out. They put ice on it.
They have a nurse's station there.
Oh, for sure.
That's how many people get,
that's how many people get hurt there. I found out why. So I'm talking to the nurse, and the nurse is like, "Where'd you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh, over this wall." She's like, "Yep, you're not the first. You're not the first dad to do this."
Do you wear no shoes? Was it just straight?
No,
barefoot?
it's just barefoot with socks.
Oh
so
my
you had to
gosh.
wear like specialty socks. So, and the lady was like, "Yeah, pretty much that's the most common place for people to get hurt, and it's always men." I'm like, fantastic. I've become a statistic. And they're like, you should really get this, you should get it x-rayed. And I'm like, all right, I'll see what I can do. So they gave us vouchers to come back later. We left. Kids were disappointed. Cool. And I was like, I'll take you to Burger King. Yeah, it was really nice of them to give us vouchers and say, just come back later when you heal up. And I'm like, I will not be doing this again. I will be giving my ticket to someone.
I think it's time to put a warning sign up. Like
that's what I said. I was like, you guys are going to put some padding on this this brick wall that you got people
warning,
parkouring
you're
on?
not as good as you think you are. Stop.
Honestly, though, as an idiot who just injured himself, I can play devil's advocate here and say, probably parkour wall when you're 40 years old, though. Like, I mean,
right, not a good idea.
I don't know if there should have been a warning. Maybe that should just naturally weed him out.
Now you're
so
the
simple.
person that they
I would
have
have
to put
tried
up
it
a
too.
warning
Probably
now.
got hurt. I'd have probably got hurt too.
Yeah, I hope they put a warning on it. But
listen, there's
anywho,
people in the world that like they have the warning "coffee is hot" label. So
yeah, it still doesn't work.
yeah, just saying.
They still burn
Warning:
themselves.
water is wet.
Look out. But yeah, so I left, and I had all intentions to go to the doctor, get it x-rayed. I was talking to Mindy during this whole time, and she's like, she had well, actually, we both sometime at some point in the last few years, both of us have popped our big toes out of the socket and dislocated it very temporarily, but it turned most of our foot purple.
Yeah.
And so in that process of when Mindy did it, she went to the doctor, and they're like, unless you have like a compound fracture where they have to reset the toe, there's not really much that can be done. Like they can wrap it, they can, if it's really bad, they can put a cast, but I had full mobility with my toe. It hurt in the joint and it was swelling. So pretty much I was like, well, I'll go because my insurance will cover an x-ray. But I got to the place, and it was in a mall, and it was lunchtime, and it was packed. Like driving around the mall, I think with most malls here, you have to pay for parking, and you have like a 15-minute window before they start charging you on the 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. So I looked for 14 minutes, and I was like, nope, forget it. I'm going home. My foot was hurting. Of course, it was my right foot, so I'm like hitting the gas and the brake with my heel, which is not comfortable to do.
Hard to get used to.
Yeah, it feels very weird. And so at this point, I'm irritated. I'm in pain, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to Burger King. We're getting some greasy food and Whoppers, and then we're going home. So that's what we did. And since then, I've just been trying to keep it up, propped up. I've iced it a couple times, but the swelling's gone down. It's really purpley and gross looking, but it's healing little by little every day. I
Can we see it?
Keep off of it. Like right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
everybody should see it.
I mean, I guess you can. If you just give me a second.
Yeah, let's do this, man. I want to see this thing.
For those listening on the podcast, Lucas is preparing us to show.
You are lucky you are listening.
Bear in mind,
and not watching.
Bear in mind, this is like 4 or 5 days of healing, so it doesn't look as bad as it did. So here it is.
All right. That's probably good for the people at home.
This is going to take some stretching. So if I hurt myself, I blame you, Ronnie.
I accept. Accept these terms.
We're seeing a foot. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the bruising there for sure. Yeah,
There you
it
go.
looks like it's all swollen up.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a
That
lot
felt like
worse
a lot
few
of
days
work.
ago because he sent pictures in the Discord and it was way worse.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. There you go. So now you got to see my foot. You got to hear my foot, dear joiners.
That looks like it hurts.
It did hurt. It hurt real
Yeah.
bad. So
Looks like it still hurts.
it it has its moments. I definitely tripped on something earlier today and like put my foot out to catch myself, and I felt a little bit of stinging pain in the joint. So I was like, not quite there yet.
So when you were driving with your heel, were you like abruptly hitting the brake and stuff? Because it's like a whole different like.
No, it was more just I was actually overcompensating, so I would like just ease into places really slow. There was no like,
Yeah.
it wasn't. I couldn't go really fast. So
I had to drive with my left foot one time.
oh man,
As
that
it
would be
turns
tough.
out, it was when I broke my leg. But I drove with my left foot. It was a stick shift, so it wasn't the easiest like thing to get used to. I had a leg brace on, so I could only use my one leg for the gas pedal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like braking, like it was like every time I tried to like gingerly brake, I just like locked up the brakes. Like I had no
Yeah.
feeling at all, like with my other foot at all.
Yeah, that's it's rough when you try to do things that should be normal. It's like if I broke like my right hand brushing my teeth with my left hand, I would like probably jam the toothbrush in my Glottal Stop and hurt myself.
My Glottal Stop.
So, but yeah, so I'm on the mend. I'll be good, and I will never jump on a trampoline ever again. So I've
Oh, it
been
was a
cured.
trampoline to the wall.
It was trampoline to the wall. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was going at
that
some
does add
speed.
an element of danger.
That adds an element of speed because I jogged a little too fast, I think.
Is
when
it
I did
possible just to clear the wall altogether? Or is it too high?
I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be very fun. Like it would just be like a little hop and then you grab it. It was probably I would say an 8-foot wall or so.
Oh wow.
So you needed the trampoline to really get you up there. So besides that, winter break is over, so back to life, back to reality. Gaming wise, as Patrick mentioned, playing Multiversus, that was a fun time. Wonder Woman's my girl. She's my main. I tried a variety of others, and I wasn't really impressed with many others. I did my first character that I unlocked using the gold was Taz, and he was okay. His supposedly like special move is just to eat the characters and chew them up, but he takes forever to take a bite. Like he's just like like opens his mouth, and they literally have to stand next to you and wait for you to bite them. I'm like, okay, this is lame. Patrick got the better choice when he chose to unlock LeBron James, who has a basketball. I mean, what
Yeah,
a
he
weapon,
was-
right?
yeah, he
Just
was
toss some
fun.
basketballs at people's faces.
I'm about
Yeah.
to check this game out.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely. It's,
It's
free,
free.
on everything.
it was fun that we were, we were Space Jam guys. Like he was LeBron, Patrick was LeBron James, and I was Taz. So that felt
Yeah,
really fun.
Does he
Perfect
look like
combo.
this?
A little bit.
Really close, not at all. So. Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It's definitely one that I'll keep on the system for a while. Play it when other people are playing. It's not one that I'm going to play on my own because I got too many. Now, if they have like a roguelike mode, then maybe I will play Multiversus on my own because I am too busy. I'm just rolling in the roguelikes. That's what I'm loving right now, as is tradition. Still playing Returnal. It is fun. I'm creeping my way towards the final boss. I think I got to the 5th area and I just walked into a room and it was like, hey guys, let's hang. Oh my, you just killed me. Okay, that's the end of that.
And
Going
I'm
back
dead.
to another area. Yeah. So that's been fun. It's been all about the leeching and the resurrection perks. That's the only thing I go after and pray that I survive in that old Returnal world. Another roguelike that I discovered that I had no idea had a roguelike was The Tower in Minecraft Dungeons. I think Patrick had mentioned he'd played it. I don't know if Ronnie, if you ever played it. It's a single player experience, so you probably didn't check it out. But it is really cool. Like I've played this game for 60 hours and I did not realize it was a roguelike in the fact that you go into the tower, you can only play it single player, and you start bare minimum nothing. You got a sword, you got some armor, you got a bow and arrow, basic bow and arrow, no artifacts. And then with each floor, they give you a choice of 5 items or add an enchantment point. And then you just pick and you start picking stuff. and you have to get through 30 floors to reach the end boss and get a gilded item. And I did it on my first try, and I was like, "That's right, buddy, like a boss, apocalypse mode." And it was fun. The secret was the pet summons. I got myself a golem right from the start, and just let that guy run in front of me. He was like my lineman.
Yeah.
And I was just the quarterback, just like pew pew, shooting dudes with my arrows. I got a bunch of items that had radiance, which just pretty much heals you every few hits. So I rocked it out. It was fun. And my son tried it, and unfortunately I forgot to change it off apocalypse mode. So he was in the first room, and he's like, "All right, let's do this." And he just gets destroyed. He's like, "What's happening?" It's like, "Buddy, maybe we should put this down to adventure mode." And so we put it one notch down, and he held his own then. It's really cool because I really like that aspect of like getting to mix and match, choose. You have to like, every 10 floors you get a boss, and then every 10 floors you also get a blacksmith, and they will upgrade one item. And the first time you do it, it'll up the level. The second time you do it, it ups to a unique. And then the third one, he makes it, the blacksmith makes it gilded. And I'd never heard of gilded. I don't know if you can get that in the normal world or how that works. But at the end, I got a gilded axe, and this baby is sweet. It's like 20 power levels above my current power level, and it heals everybody. It hits for like double the damage of anything I've ever seen ever. So I'm about to take this thing out with my kids and just wipe the floor clean.
Is Minecraft Dungeons crossplay?
I
don't think so.
Yeah,
No?
I'm not sure. I wish it were. I would
That'd be
totally.
a cool game to play.
totally
Because we
play.
need to at some point, we need to all four get into a game.
I mean, honestly, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
load it up. I'd load it up on Xbox and play it fresh.
Well, I think I can't remember if I played it on the Xbox or the Switch.
Yeah, but it's free on Xbox. I mean, not free. It's Game Pass, right, Patrick?
I think it is Game Pass.
Yeah, it's Game Pass. Now, there is crossplay. However, it's because PlayStation. It's because of PlayStation.
Those
PlayStation
goobers.
can only play with the PS or with the Nintendo Switch, and Xbox only plays with the PC.
Boo.
what in the world?
It's not really crossplay.
That's
fake.
crap.
That's like
Half cross.
fake crossplay. Fake.
Quarter cross.
Smell like beef and cheese.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
All right, but yeah, that's all I got, guys. That's
Cool.
that's life. Breaking my toes and then breaking illagers.
Nice.
That's it.
Don't break the law.
That's it. Nah, no law breaking this week.
Or your
Actually,
toes.
I did break the law during the time the mission group was there, and I just got the ticket last week for turning right on red.
Oopsies.
That's not a thing here, just so you know. And I was reminded of that when I got the ticket in the mail. So
Dang.
good for me.
Good for me.
Woo! All right,
What a
well,
great
folks,
week.
that is all for our updates. How about you? Actually, speaking of you, dear joiners, we do have an update from someone. I am the worst at remembering when people write things, and I need to read them. Our old buddy Delvin Cox, there on Discord. I'm going to read a couple of his updates that he's mentioned over the course of the past few weeks. He really enjoyed the movie Thor: Love and Thunder. He liked the specific style, that it felt very much like a comic book movie. Ronnie, have you watched that yet?
I've not.
You need to get on that. Okay.
I do need to get on that.
Yep, for sure. And then Delvin also said that he bought a car a couple weeks
Oh.
ago. So
Whoa.
he's doing fantastic. He bought a 2015 Chevy Spark. Way to get with the times. Get an old
Chevy
electric
Spark.
mobile.
That's one of those little
What
ones.
is-
I think.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Oh yeah, it looks like a little micro machine car. It looks
tiny car.
looks fun. We're even in here in Brazil. We're getting those little electric charging stations popping up all over the place. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So we're getting with the times over here in Sao
Catching the
Paulo,
wave.
Brazil. Yep. So yeah, that's a little update from Delvin. If anybody else, if you want to share an old update, share about what's going on in your neck of the woods, well, let's do some quick housekeeping so you know how to do that, as is tradition, where we offer you towels, fluff, pillows topped with Andy's candies, and tip you off to the GMG news you need to know. We're on Twitter, Discord, Facebook, and Instagram. If you want to chat with us, if you enjoy consuming some visual content, there is YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, where Marc and I, along with one of our Canadian joiners, Chris the Rock, are usually, sometimes, often around Sunday to Saturday every week. They're on Twitch, and then also on our Patreon and our merch page, you can support us and gear up. And now there is one link to rule them all, and it's in the show notes. Or you can type it out real quick, linktr.ee/thegmgpod. Why they made it Linktree with a dot in the middle of Linktree is beyond me.
You don't have to do it. You can just put linktree.com/thegmgpod.
Can you do linktree.com?
Yep, I tested it out because I was like,
I wanted to test that, and
I wonder because this .ee is weird.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to say that? Am I going to be like Linktree with a dot between the R and the E?
Linktree.com.
It's kind of like
Still,
Bitly.
it works.
Yeah.
It's just a shortener.
All right, so edit that out and go back. All you got to do is type in linktree.com/thegmgpod, and you will reach all of our links. They're literally all there, and you can click them all, and great things will happen to you.
Yeah.
And finally, if you don't want to toss a coin to your podcasters, if you don't want to click on linktree.com/thegmgpod, but you're still the giving type, you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Spotify. And it helps us reach joiners through stars, exclamation marks, and your feedback. So let your voice be heard, literally if you want, at 929GMG, guys. That is all. Okay. Anything else you guys got? Last things? All hearts clear?
All hearts are clear from Patrick Matrick.
All right, Patrick Matrick. Marc Touche Boucher. Oh, Marc Old Man Jenkins and Ronnie Joseph Johantis, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.
Okay, boy.